US President Donald Trump has long painted himself as an ultimate peacemaker to end global conflicts. During his campaign for the White House, Trump insisted that he and only he could end the war in Ukraine in no less than 24 hours of taking office. President Trump's self-imposed deadline to end the Russia-Ukraine war has long since passed, and now he appears to have shifted the onus of ending the war to an ally in West Asia. Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. While virtually addressing the annual World Economic Forum gathering, President Trump described the Saudi Crown Prince as a fantastic guy. Trump asserted that he wants Saudi Arabia and oil-producing nations bloc OPEC to reduce the oil prices, and that lower oil prices in the global market would end the Russia-Ukraine war immediately. The Western leaders have long claimed that Russia's oil exports during the ongoing war are keeping the country's wartime economy afloat, and that's because the Russian oil prices are significantly lower than the ones offered by other key oil producers like Saudi Arabia. Global oil prices are primarily controlled by Saudi Arabia-led OPEC bloc. US President Trump hopes that if the global oil prices are down to a point where they match the already low Russian oil prices, it may force Moscow to settle the war.
And it's also reported today in the papers that Saudi Arabia will be investing at least $600 billion in America, but I'll be asking the Crown Prince, who's a fantastic guy, to round it out to around $1 trillion. I think they'll do that because we've been very good to them. And I'm also going to ask Saudi Arabia and OPEC to bring down the cost of oil. You got to bring it down, which, frankly, I'm surprised they didn't do before the election. That didn't show a lot of love by them not doing it. I was a little surprised by that. If the price came down, the Russia-Ukraine war would end immediately. Right now, the price is high enough that that war will continue. You got to bring down the oil price. You got to end that war.
Trump has shifted the goalpost over ending the war in Ukraine quite a few times. In July last year, during his presidential campaign, Trump vowed to end the war within 24 hours of taking office. On the 21st of January, Trump's self-imposed deadline to end the war in 24 hours of taking office lapsed. On the 22nd of January, reports said that Trump tasked U.S. Special Envoy for Ukraine and Russia to end the war within 100 days. On the same day, he urged Russian President Putin to settle the ridiculous war and get it over with. Trump is now also banking on allies like Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince to use reduced oil prices as a potential deterrent for ending the conflict immediately. He has also suggested the possibility of the US and China together bringing the war to an end. Far from his repeated promise of ending the Russia-Ukraine war immediately after taking office, President Trump now appears to have taken a conventional path to end this long drawn-out conflict. From pitching reduced oil prices by Saudi Arabia as economic deterrent for Russian economy, to even dialing up a geopolitical rival like China, a Trump-led America is doing it all. His campaign trail promise continues to face a real geopolitical test, even as the devastation from the war in Ukraine continues to impact millions. The question remains, with shifting goalposts and unpredictable stances, can Trump really end this long-drawn war?
From breaking news to the day's biggest controversies, shedding light on the world's top headlines, detailed analysis on the stories that matter the most to you. Catch it all on Spotlight at 6 p.m. India time and 12:30 GMT, only on Firstpost.